Hello, everybody, and welcome to the latest edition of LM's Weekly Wrap, our weekly roundup of all the events that have occurred in the market, what is expected going forward into the markets. This has been a very eventful week for the markets, and today's program we have divided it into three parts. The first part is the macroeconomic developments, the global developments. The second is the domestic market related developments, and the third is the performance of LM's weekender stocks. So all these three areas require to a great amount of attention and detail. So first of all, we start off with the global markets. The global markets continue to reel under recessionary pressures. There is the skepticism, there is the apprehension that the rate hikes might occur again in the US markets, and as a result of this we are seeing that the corporate world in the US markets, they are also tightening their purse strings, and the IT budgets etc. are being cut down. Overall, there is that air of pessimism which is there in the markets. We are seeing the impact of the war also in the markets, and the latest impact we have seen is on the currency side, where the emerging markets currencies are reeling under a lot of pressure with energy prices ruling quite high. There is a crisis looming large across the globe. So this is one factor which we need to be very careful of, and after we've seen that the dollar index is at a record high, the US benchmark bond yields tend to move upwards, hit a high of 4% before coming down again to 3.6% and then closing at 3.8% in the most recent move. In a significant development yesterday, we have seen the OPEC plus countries have decided to cut the output. Crude output has been slashed by 2 million barrels per day, and US is also going to reduce the inventory from the SPR, which is the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. Now this is going to put a lot of pressure on the crude oil prices. Crude oil prices are likely to inch back again towards the $100 levels, which is going to be a negative as far as the emerging markets are concerned. As far as India is concerned, I think today the biggest negative for us is the way the rupee has fallen. The RBI having taken a decision not to defend the rupee, at least at this point of time, because they've already exhausted approximately $100 billion worth of reserves in trying to shore up the rupee, and this has proved to be futile largely. We've seen today the rupee close at close to 82.35 levels. So rupee continue to be under pressure. This can be a negative as far as the inflationary pressures are concerned. Coming to the company specific developments, I think there was no dearth of action in the markets today, as well as in the last week. The week began with very positive data as far as the GST collections were concerned, and very strong data from the auto majors. As far as the automobile sector is concerned, we got very good monthly data from passenger vehicles, commercial vehicles, tractors, which continue to do very well. And the flip side was the performance of the two-wheeler sector, especially the likes of Hero MotoCorp and Bajaj Auto, which are reeling under pressure. But the star performers of the auto sector were Eicher Motors. We had Tata Motors, Maruti, M&M, which continue to do very well. And incidentally, after a strong performance from the auto sector, we've seen profit booking in the auto stocks. We've seen good strong amount of profit booking happening over there. Second important development was relating to the quarterly updates which came from banks and NBFCs. The quarterly updates from banks and NBFCs was particularly very encouraging with respect to the strong loan growth, strong deposit mobilization. We saw some very positive data coming in from Mahindra and Mahindra Financial Services, banks like HDFC Bank, IndusInd Bank, RBL Bank, AU Small Finance Bank, and particularly IDFC First Bank. So whole host of banks and NBFCs having given out positive guidance, positive data, has showed up the banks and the NBFC space. Investors are looking to take positions with a medium to long term as far as the banks and NBFC space is concerned. So this has been a positive as far as this week is concerned. The third is the FMCG sector. The FMCG sector outperformance seems to be waning because three companies declared their quarterly updates and market was not particularly enthused with the commentary from three companies like Marico, Dabur and Godrej Consumer Products Limited. As a result of which we are seeing the larger players also like HUL, Britannia, Nestle come under a bit of pressure. IT sector, next is the IT sector. As far as the IT sector is concerned, we saw some signs of coming back as far as the IT sector was concerned, but next week is going to be an acid test for the IT sector because the Q3 numbers, they start from the earnings season starts from next week, and we'll be having numbers from Infosys, we'll have HCL Technologies, Wipro, and Infosys, which is going to declare its numbers. So I think the commentary from the IT companies is going to be very, very critical on how things shape out. Finally, I think the winner of this week, the sector which has performed exceptionally well in this week is the winner sector is the metal sector. And I think we've seen good pullback, comeback as far as the metal space is concerned. In fact, some of the biggest gainers of this week are stocks like Coal India Limited, Jindal Steel and Power, JSW Steel, Hindalco, Vedanta. These are some of the biggest gainers of this week. Apart from this, the stocks which have gained in this week are largely consumption oriented stocks like Titan, which had a very strong quarterly update today morning. Jewelry stocks, the jewelry division continuing to do very well. We also had a strong update from Kalyan Jewelers, indicating that all the consumption theme oriented stocks are likely to do quite well in the run up to the festival season. Finally, a couple of themes which we generally tend to discuss. One is the defense stocks. Defense stocks continue to be in great shape. We have shipbuilding stocks like Garden Reach Shipbuilders, Mazgaon Docks, Cochin Shipyard, which continue to do very well. Hindustan Aeronautics is doing quite well. Bharat Dynamics doing quite well. Our weekender stock ideas like Midhani, Mishra Dhatu Nigam Limited, was a star performer in trade yesterday's market. Bharat Electronics continues to do quite well. Hotel stocks expected to do very well. Today we had some very positive commentary coming in from the Phoenix Mills. They've indicated a good traction for their office space business. For the hotels business, occupancy ratios are quite strong, and the revenue per occupied room has also been quite strong. So all this augurs very well for the hotel space. The third category which we are going to discuss today in the final part of our program is the performance of the LM weekenders. As we have discussed earlier also, that some of the LM weekender stocks continue to perform exceptionally well. Just to give you an example, we had stocks like Jyoti Laboratories, which has performed well in this week, Action Construction Equipment, which has performed well, Titagar Wagons, Midhani was a star performer in trade yesterday also, and as we talk, it's doing quite well in today's market also. So Mishra Dhatu Nigam, still a huge amount of potential in this stock. We have Ramkrishna Forge, which has performed quite well. Incidentally, yesterday the forging sector related stocks performed quite well, led by Bharat Forge. But we believe RK Forge also has a long-term potential to perform quite well. We have HBL Power Systems, which we have been recommending right since 33 levels. We have upgraded the stock on a continuous basis. Today, as we talk, the stock trades at 115 levels with a huge amount of strength. Schneider Electric, which was last week's weekender, has also performed quite well. So I think we hope that our weekender recommendations are useful to all of you. We'll appreciate your feedback on our program, on our weekender stocks, and any other general queries which you have. Will respond to you by YouTube. And I think we believe that stock specific, there is a good amount of potential in the markets. Although markets are giving an opportunity, there may be weakness in the markets overall, but definitely stock specific action is quite strong. So being in the right stock at the right time will work. Definitely it will work wonders for everybody. That's about all from my side. I hope you enjoyed our program. Kindly do write back to us with your feedback. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.